And you know what, David? I think we're live.
I think we are. I heard the
And
recording is in progress. Yes.
and may we be live for many years to come.
Many, yes.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mel Rosenberg. I'm the host of the Children's Literature Channel of the New Books Network. And I'm so happy to introduce to you a wonderful person, a great author, David McMullin. Please welcome him. And we're both celebrating brand new children's books with Penguin Random House. Mine is Emily Sador, and David's is,
Mine is Rock and Roll Baby. It's a new board book, and I'm very excited to share it. Yes.
and we'll talk about that, and we'll also talk about your previous book from
Okay.
a year and a half ago, which is Free to Be
We
Fabulous
Free to be Fabulous. Yes.
with the
And that was
HarperCollins.
with HarperCollins Clarion Books. Yes.
Fantastic. So welcome to the show, David.
I am
Uh,
so glad to be here. Yeah, I've seen a bunch of your episodes actually, and it's really fun to see your interviews. So I'm glad to finally be here.
and you know, you are such a kind person to reach out to me in a very modest and unassuming manner. And of course, I want to interview, and of course, I want to see your books, and of course, I want to know all about you. So let's
Okay.
start. Let's start with Rock and Roll Baby. Show everybody, read a little bit. You are a poet, an
Okay.
award-winning poet.
This is Rock and Roll Baby. It came out on, when was it? March 3rd.
Hmm.
I'll just do a few stanzas here, if I
Of
can
course.
get to the side. Um, so the idea of this book is that I introduce rock music and different genres of rock music. So everything from R&B to rap to punk to country rock. Um, and I do it through the day in the life of a baby. So from waking up in the morning to going to bed at night. And each part of his life is a different style of music. So we have Rock and Roll Baby, warm up your voice, give the whole world a cause to rejoice. Look, it's your fans, they're here to engage. So slide on your knees and take center stage.
I'm not going to stop you.
Okay, well, I will stop soon because we don't want to do this whole thing, but just an idea of it. Beboppin' baby, start the day right. Life is a banquet, take a big bite. Savor this moment full of pizzazz, improvise groove, and all of that jazz. And it continues throughout his day, celebrating everything from tantrums, which is punk, to um, playing with friends, which is pop, to where else do we go to? We have bath time, which is Latin, and goes through the day, and I try to incorporate lingo from that genre of music to help describe that part of the baby's day. So
It's
it was a
fantastic.
fun puzzle to put together.
I was just talking with someone today about the importance of children's books, not only being for the child, of course, primarily for the child, but also fun for the adults to read and to play out. And you're an actor. We'll get to that a little bit more. And it's clear that this is so much fun. It's just a fun book. Um,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
fun. And one of the secrets behind the book is that Rock and Roll Baby is not an accidental title. It comes from the lullaby Rockabye Baby. Uh,
okay.
so every verse in here can be sung to the tune of Rockabye Baby.
There you go. You see, I missed
And
that.
and,
I missed that. Did
and I
it say that
know
anywhere?
parents have been enjoying singing the book in the style of the music that is on that page. So giving it a rock um, vibe or a country vibe when it gets to that page.
But where does it? See, I missed that. And that's so important. Where does it say that you
It
can
does
sing it?
not say that in the book, and I'm a bit sad about that, but I think
Well, we're going to tell our thousands of viewers and listeners to run out and grab the book and to sing it. And you know, just a small suggestion for you is to ask people, start with your friends, to record one or two stanzas where they're singing on YouTube or on Instagram, and turn this into a viral thing.
it would be fun. It is something I do plan to do is get together with some people who are a little more technically musically skilled than I am to be able to
But,
create
but, but
something further. Yeah.
David, before I had this show with NBN, it was something called You've Got Mel. And I would ask everybody to pick their favorite Beatles song and sing it at the end of the interview.
Hmm.
So you have any idea what I'm going to ask you to do now?
Am I going to sing my own book?
Just one stanza, please.
Let's see. I'll go to the very end where it actually feels like a lullaby.
All
So,
right. Okay, go for it.
um, uh, rock and roll baby, concert is done. Roadies have packed up, your fandom had fun. Fade out the spotlight and start dreaming big. It's time for your epic nighty night gig. There we go.
Fantastic. Okay, I mean, I don't know what the people are going to say at Crown and Penguin and Random House, but I think that you should very quickly turn your book into a video and get it out there because that's going to be a smash hit.
Thank you.
And I didn't even realize it. So you know all the people, our friends at the Crown and Penguin and Random House, come on, give David a break here on this book. This can go viral. And let's now go back to David, the child growing up, and tell us about this. And you know, I'm always asking people, where is the angst? Where is the pain in our children's book that we're trying to um, relieve when we write for children? And I'm guessing that you have a pain.
Um, I will say I actually do not. I had a joyous, happy childhood, but
Go on,
part of
go
the
ahead.
reason
Go 1 second. Go ahead and spoil my theories. You know that I've been
part of
working
the
on.
reason I do write for kids though is because I had learning disabilities growing up. So I was, they talk about reluctant readers and creating avenues for reluctant readers to get into reading. And I was as reluctant as they come. In fact, I don't think I read an entire book until college or out of college. I just refused. It was too much work for me, and I just wouldn't do it. Um, and so, because I know how difficult it can be for some kids,
Mhm.
I write books that I think are fun and enjoyable, something that if they picked it up, I might have actually paged through, even if I didn't read every word. Um, and so one of my goals is to just create a feeling that books are okay to play with and to hold and to page through, and you don't have to stress about it, worry about the words. You can just enjoy yourself and make the book something inviting.
So, David, you know, I'm going to have to answer that. Okay, this
Say,
maybe was not a childhood pain, but it's certainly excuse me, it's certainly something that you're addressing.
absolutely.
And we always talk about this. You know, we write books that we think that we would like to read if we were young again. This is what I think, and that's so. This is for me a great example.
Yeah. Part of the reason I write a lot of poetry and rhyme is because a poem can be 2 lines. That takes almost no effort to get through a poem. that is that is 10 words, 20 words. Um, I could have done that and
I,
felt a
I,
sense
you,
of accomplishment because I
yes,
got to the end of something.
you see, David, you are kind of coming around.
Yes.
Okay, when did you start? So when did you start reading? And like, you grew up and you managed to graduate grade school and high school and some of college without reading a book. When did it dawn on you that you should read? Because you became a librarian and an author. Come on.
Yes. I think I don't know what it was, but there was some edge that I got myself over. At some point, I actually read a book, or I think what I liked was the storytelling aspect of it. And so my first career was as an actor. And
Hold on. Let's go back. Do you
okay.
remember what the first book you did read was?
Um, I think it would have been Roald Dahl, probably James and the Giant Peach.
And you read this when you
And
were in
and I was
college.
reading
Hold
these
on, you were in
as an
college.
adult. As an adult, I was not reading kids' books as a child. Um, I just I was the slowest reader in my class. I had the messiest writing in my class. I was always being pulled aside to take special classes on the side, and it always bothered me, um, giving me little spelling tests, and it was so frustrating because no one was diagnosing anything.
Mhm.
I was simply the slow kid, and yet in my brain, I knew I was not. I knew I was as capable as anyone else. Just visually, things were not going into my head the same way as everyone else. Um, and I was navigating it pretty much on my own. Um,
Is this the mean in your fabulous book?
um, well, my fabulous book is more the art.
We haven't talked about your fabulous book.
Okay,
So in 2024, you published your first debut book,
I'll show that one.
which is Free to Be Fabulous,
Yes,
illustrated by Robbie Cathro.
the amazing Robbie Cathro. Yes.
And so who's the mean? Tell just a few words about the story. Read a few sentences.
So it's about a young boy who is obsessed with his favorite pop star and spends his whole days dancing in his room. And up comes a talent show, and he decides to put on a little show showcasing his favorite pop star Fabulina's dances. And it goes great until the voices come in, the mean comes in and starts little words, little jibes, little glances, and he starts to realize, oh, I'm doing something that not everyone loves. And he becomes very self-conscious and hides away until he realizes that most people are really on his side. Sometimes those voices can feel louder than everything, when they're not. Um, so he finally uses his superpower, which is dancing, to inspire those around him. Um, and I was an artistic child myself. I loved song and dance. My first albums were musical theater albums. Um, and I came from a,
One second, hold on. You'll have to get
yep.
specific here because I'm a musical lover.
Hmm.
Can you be specific for a moment?
I think my first albums were the Rodgers and Hammerstein.
Okay.
Um,
But you
um,
have to be more
because
specific
because
than
because
that.
my parents weren't necessarily into musical theater, but like everyone back then, there were some albums sitting around.
You have to be
And
specific, David. Rogers and Hammerstein had many shows, five, very
yeah,
famous.
Oklahoma was a favorite.
Okay.
Although I think there was a My Fair
I'm
Lady,
just the girl who can't say no.
Fiddler on the Roof, of course. Um,
A
this,
very
this,
Jewish musical, Fiddler on the
yes,
Roof.
yes. So truly the big golden era classics, um, because those are just the odd albums we had next to the Beatles albums and things
We're,
that I didn't
we're,
really
we're,
listen to.
we're going to have another conversation sometime on theater and music.
I'd be happy
Uh,
to.
okay, getting back to your first published book. So I want to know who is the mean for you, for David, because the mean comes. Who is the mean? The mean voices.
I will say,
But I just say one sentence. There's so much similarity with my
yes.
book of Emily
Uh,
going from door to door and being rejected.
so the mean in this book is, I'll show just a picture so your audience gets an idea. The bully in this book is not an actual person. It's an idea. And here is the mean just surrounding the boy. So I was non-specific with the bully on purpose because originally it was book written about cyberbullying, so truly anonymous bullies. That changed as we edited the book. Um, but it's the voices that get inside of you that are really the ones that tear you apart. And so, specifically, since you're asking, I was in college. I was training to be a singer. And one day, a well-meaning teacher who was not my own teacher came up to me, and this was before I came out of the closet as a gay man. Um, and the teacher came up to me and said, David, just so you know, when you sing, you come across as effeminate. And they were trying to be helpful, but it made me hide within myself. That was a part of myself I wasn't yet able to share. And suddenly I discover people know because of singing, which is my favorite thing in the world. So now I'm being outed by what I love, and I wasn't ready yet. Um, and I think that really hurt me as a performer down the road because I was always then after that hiding a little part of myself.
Wow.
I wasn't as free with expressing myself as I was before I heard that comment. Um, and so Daniel is definitely living that story. He's happy to express himself freely until the mean comes and attacks him. So yeah, such a personal story, and it never was supposed to be. I never expected this to be my first book. I write a lot of funny books.
One second, we're going to get there in a minute.
Okay, absolutely.
Okay. It's interesting. So mean was this calling you out for singing in a effeminate way. And the interesting thing about books when they're really good, and this is really good, is the reader response, which Harold Underdown taught me, that if you do it right and you make it very personal, then it becomes everybody else's personal book, and they get to uh, choose what mean is for them. Mean
Yeah.
for me might be the anti-Semitism I encountered as a kid. And everybody looks at that and says, "Oh, wow, what does it mean for me?" So that's great. And let's go back now. So you're in college. You studied.
I was studying biology and theater and music. biology was my major, but theater and music was my love. And
Right.
so I spent way more time in the theater and music departments than I did anywhere near the biology department. Um, in fact, it took many more years to get through school because I spent so much time doing theater productions and music shows and choirs and all of that.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
This is a kind of you're like my you're like a parallel Mel in so many ways. Um, it's quite amazing. So let's now talk about how you got into writing and how you got into children's books.
Okay,
Now's the
so
right time to talk about.
perfect. Good. I'm ready. So taking it back a little bit, I started my first career was in theater,
Mhm.
and I performed. I started slow doing cruise ships and Disney tours and those kinds of things. Eventually made it to New York, where I performed in a lot of shows,
Once I
national tours.
performed in lots of shows. What,
Yes,
Broadway, off Broadway, what?
I did one Broadway show.
Woo!
Um, it was a production of
Quick!
La Boheme, directed by Baz Luhrmann. Um,
Wow.
very exciting time in my life.
Woo. Yeah.
Um, but eventually, my husband and I were both living in New York, and we wanted other things in our lives. We loved travel. We things that we couldn't do if we stayed performers. We looked around us. We saw other people we were performing with who were Tony nominees, and they were still living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
It no one was paying the bills with their theater, and we knew some pretty established people.
Yeah. So, but you didn't go back to biology, did you?
No, never. I never did anything with biology. Like,
Maybe that's a good choice, perhaps. Though I'm a professor of microbiology,
oh,
so
okay,
I,
excellent.
I did very similar things. I mean, if we ever talk about, but I did become a scientist for about 30 years, but my heart was in jazz and children's books.
Yes.
So continue, please. This is
So
about
we
you now.
left New York to pursue other things, and I started working in special education and eventually, well, okay, so starting about there, I didn't have the creative outlets that I had when I was a performer. And so I started taking art classes and some of that, and stories started coming into my head, and I started writing those down, and I saw the perfect combination of art and words in picture books, and it just felt like a natural route for me to take. I ended up taking a class. I saw there was a picture book writer coming through town giving a class at the local bookstore. So I went and I took that, and he mentioned SCBWI.
Who is that? Let's shout out.
I don't even know his name. Like
Okay.
it was before
Yeah.
I knew what I was doing at all.
All right.
Those very early stages when
Mhm.
everything is you think you can write a instant bestseller in 5 minutes and you know nothing. That period, um, which is a fun period to go through.
Again, a commonality, but I did this for decades before I attended an SCBWI meeting.
Okay.
So didn't take you as long. So
Um,
you were introduced to SCBWI.
so I joined that, and that's when I started joining critique groups and going to conferences and learning the real nitty-gritty of how to make this work as a
Yeah.
career and as a business. Um, and then I just got really serious about it, and that was about 12 years ago. So
Mhm.
I've been seriously writing pretty much I'm an everyday writer. So 12 years of writing every day,
And
hundreds and hundreds of manuscripts. Like I fully commit when I commit. So
and
that's
for
how I
somebody
got
who
into it.
didn't read a book till college,
Oh, like it's
that's remarkable. I mean, there's a story there, David. So how did you and I had about 300 rejections before I broke in. How many rejections can you brag about?
okay. So to get my agent, it was 322. So
No, you beat me.
I am up there. Um, and since I've had an agent selling books, I haven't even counted. We've had hundreds of rejections, but luckily a handful of yeses. So
Okay, let's shout out to your agent, Caitlin Sanchez, and she's wonderful. And how did you find her? Because only I don't know. These agents get thousands of manuscripts every year.
they do. I came in a back door. She has a contest every year, two of them, one called Fall Frenzy and one Spring Fling. And I entered the Fall Frenzy, and my entry was a poem, and it did really well. And because of that, she invited me to be a part of her personal picture book rhyming group.
Wow,
Uh,
David,
this is
that's not back door. That's front door.
well, and this is before she was an agent.
Ah, so that's
So
front door before there was a house.
yes, yes. And so then when she finally became an agent, um, I submitted just like everyone else, and she had lots of critique partners, so it's not like she was taking anyone. And she made me jump through hoops for sure. I think she saw seven manuscripts. She saw the first one, she asked for more, she asked for revisions, she asked for more manuscripts. There were seven manuscripts before she said yes. So um, I'm glad I had a lot ready for her.
Exactly.
But since then it's been fantastic. It's been a great relationship there.
And so this explains a lot of your journey, which is kind of the journey that we need to take. It's a long journey.
It's a
Um,
long one. Yeah, mine's not a unusual story. Lots of people work for years and years and years
and
to
haven't
get.
broken in yet. I mean, you are one of the one in several thousand authors who end up with an agent and a few book deals. And as we celebrate Rock and Roll Baby, you have more stuff to share, stuff that's
I
coming our way soon. And this is the
yes,
perfect time to do it.
so I will share. This is a fake book. I make little fake books so that I can show the covers, but this is my next book. It's a early reader series. So this is Percy and Speck series about the dog Percy and the bug Speck. Um, three books are coming out over the next, I don't even know how long, actually. I
One
don't know
second,
all the
did you say the dog Percy and the bug Speck?
oh, yes. So if you want to know the secret of their names, these books are about perspective. So it's two characters sharing an event, but you learn they both have a different perspective on the event. So Percy comes from perspective and Speck comes from perspective. Um, so their names, all the books in the first book,
There's
um,
some biology there, David.
the what?
There's a little biology there.
A, a little biology.
Nothing
My
goes to
my
waste.
I have always had a unusual love for insects and creepy crawlies. So Speck is perfect, and his character design, this little blue and yellow blob guy, just cracks me up. I love him. So
When is the first coming out and with what
so
publisher?
September 15th is the first book. And
Okay. And with what publisher, the
so that
illustrator?
is with L- Simon Simon Spotlight, Simon and Schuster, and it's part of
Fantastic.
their Ready to Read series. And
Fantastic.
this is a pre-level one series.
Fantastic. And
Um,
how many books are you scheduled to contribute here?
we're scheduled three at this point.
That's
Um,
fantastic.
we can dream of more, but I'm happy that I that we got three. Yes.
That's
It was quite a
fantastic.
process putting that together because it started out as a picture book in my mind. But as I was doing some revisions on it, it started to not feel like a picture book anymore. It was feeling like an early reader, and yet I knew very little about early readers, other than I knew that they're a really hard sell. You have to have a series, you have to usually be the author illustrator, you have to know the reading levels. There's a lot of specifics. Usually they're by in-house writers. So many things that I was not. Um, but I loved my idea, and I convinced Caitlin that she loved my idea. And so together we worked on putting a list together that took early readers, and one person bit, and that's all it takes. So I was very happy with that.
One person bit. Oh, what a fun.
Yeah. And
One
there's a lot
person,
of biting by this.
one person got the bug. So David, this is fantastic. And also, you know, the irony here, right? A young David McMullin who has trouble reading, and an adult David McMullin who's helping children read. This is a real, the Jews call this the tikkun, coming around and trying to make the world a better place. And
Yeah.
I think that that's amazing. I can't wait to meet you in person. But there's another reason that I want to meet you in person. I want to sing theater songs with you.
Oh, that would be fun. Yes.
So let's talk for a moment before we say goodbye to everybody. I want you to first of all give some advice to people in the trenches. We have been extraordinarily lucky, um,
Extraordinarily lucky. Yes.
and I think
I
some of this can be shared. So I'm going to ask you to share a little bit.
yeah, I appreciate it every day how lucky I am because I it's not easy, and it it often feels impossible. Often, especially around year six before I got my agent, 300 some submissions later. The thing was, I still had confidence in what I could do. Um, I loved what I was writing. I loved what I was doing. Um, so eventually I came to this little philosophy that if I work as hard as I can, and I can never say I didn't do enough to get there, if I never published, I would still be content. Because if I got to the end of my life and I had not sold a book, but I knew I didn't do everything I could, I would be disappointed. So I had to make sure I would never be disappointed by reading every book I could, taking all the advice. When people say read books, I read thousands of books a year. When people said write as much as you can, I sat down and created a project where I called it the 52 First Books Project. And every week for a year, I wrote a new book. And
Wow.
I've done that several times. Um, or I'll sit, it's like, oh, it's my birthday month. I'm going to write a new story every day this month. And so I end up
Wow.
with 30 new stories. And of course, they're crazy rough drafts. But I wanted every opportunity. I submitted constantly because I know there's no acceptance without submitting. One thing I suggest for new writers, because I have lots of confidence in my writing because I've put myself out there so much that even though there's been a lot of misses, there have been a few yeses. There can't be yeses without a lot of opportunities.
Hey, the other
So,
thing, yeah,
so
sorry, David.
yeah,
I just wanted to throw one more thing in. You are a multi-award winning poet, which means you entered a lot of contests,
a lot. And
and
that's
that's
what I
important.
suggest. Put your stuff out there. I entered every blog contest I could find. Um, I did I've won several of the pretty big awards, like the Ann Whitford Paul Award and the
Mhm.
Impact and Legacy Award and the Astra International Picture Book Competition Award, because I submit.
Yeah,
Um, I
because you
also
submit and because you're very talented, if you don't mind.
thank you, and I hope so, but I also have the confidence because I did win some of the Susanna Leonard Hill's contests and Vivian Kirkfield's contests, those blogs. And it starts with, oh, I got a my very first contest was Susanna Leonard Hill. And I didn't follow the rules exactly. And so my piece was rejected. But in her blog, she said there was one piece we really loved, but we had to disqualify it because it didn't follow the rules. And back then I was bold enough to write her and say, was that me? And she said yes. But even though I was disqualified from the contest, knowing that someone liked what I wrote gave me early writer confidence that I didn't have before that. So every opportunity you have to win an honorable mention gives you a little more confidence. And I just used all of those to build on. Um, and you get a couple people, just having the confidence to enter a contest means that you're doing something right. Um, I'm really a fan of those. And of course, it ended up getting my agent in the long run with Caitlin. So I don't know. I'm a fan of joining the community and using this fantastic picture book community to help you. Don't let it be a vacuum. Don't be by yourself, even though it's easy to be by yourself. Make friends, make critique groups. My critique groups are everything to me. Um, yeah, just put yourself out there. And because that's the hardest part. Once you put yourself out there once, it's easier the next time. And then it's easier to submit to an agent. Then it's easier to submit to a publisher. Then it's easier to stop worrying when you get a rejection because you get used to it. Um, and unfortunately, we get used to it.
We sure do.
Yeah.
So what are you doing now what is your payback to the community?
Um, I I just was having this idea yesterday, actually.
Oh, share
Um,
it.
I because of one of my blogs, a lot of times when you do a blog tour or um, podcast tour like this, there are some of them ask that you donate a prize of some kind, a book or a critique. And so a woman just won a AMA, an Ask Me Anything interview. And I finished that and I just felt so happy that I was able to learn from her. She was able to learn from me. We had this great discussion. We both love books. And I thought, I would love to do this more often, um, both with seasoned writers and with upcoming writers, and just sit down and have discussions and just what can we learn from each other? Similar to this, but just really private. You don't have to worry about the whole world listening in. You can tell your deepest, darkest secrets and not worry. We just have a conversation and maybe have a group of 4 or 5 people get together at a time and just chat.
Okay, so I'm going to suggest that
Mm.
over the next week or so, following celebrating our interview and getting to know you a bit, that anybody can write you
Yes.
and set up a an interview, ask you a question. And I just have this idea because you are so forthcoming, and you have this, you have this career in acting that you would make a great interviewer. And we should talk about this, a session where people come on and not only privately, but also publicly.
Hmm.
Maybe you get another author or somebody and ask us anything session. And I think you would do splendidly at that. I'm even thinking of retiring from New Books Network and suggesting that you replace me.
I, I, that would be amazing, but I don't think I'm as good at asking the questions as you are.
Well, it's easy to train. You ask yourself the questions, then you ask somebody else.
Hmm.
Um, David, I ask you questions that I want to be asked. I mean, how simple is that?
Yeah, yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
Um,
And because I like to sing, the question I'm going to ask you to sum up, and before we say goodbye to everybody, I'm going to repeat that I'm Mel Rosenberg, and I'm the host of the Children's Literature Channel for the New Books Network. I'm also the author responsible for Emily Saw a Door, which came out in February with Penguin Random House, and with Orit Magia's fantastic illustrations. And I've been talking to a new kindred soul and new friend. I hope. Uh,
I hope. Yes, yes,
I really
absolutely.
hope David McMullin, talking about his two books that are out there. The more recent one is called Rock and Roll Baby, which came out in March with the beautiful pictures of Allison Black,
Yes, she's amazing. Yes.
and a board book, and they can be sung to the tune of rock and roll baby. Right?
Rockabye Baby.
This is going to be imprinted forever. Every time I sing the song to anybody, it's going to be rock and roll baby. Oh no, David, you ruined it forever. And from 2024, I almost said 1924, Free to Be Fabulous, which came out with HarperCollins, and another shout out to Caitlin Sanchez, who discovered David, and well done, Caitlin. And just to conclude our fabulous interview, I'm going to ask you to sing one of your favorite songs from one of the musicals that you mentioned, the Rodgers and Hammerstein, maybe Oklahoma, could also be Fiddler on the Roof. It doesn't have to be the whole song, just something to make everybody happy.
Okay. Oh my gosh. I have not sung You Would Be Amazed for years. It's not something I do anymore,
And,
but
and,
let's,
and, well, as you know me, David,
yes.
am I going to care particularly?
Nope. And I bet no one else is either.
Yeah,
So,
no, what's like you have to be like the hero, right? Who of your story, right?
yes,
You have to be
absolutely.
the character who's not afraid and grab center stage. Go ahead.
Okay. And is this going to fade out very quickly or am I going to keep going?
I have no
I don't.
idea.
Okay. So we're gonna go with this was one of my favorite audition songs when I was performing. This Leaning on a Lamppost from Me and My Girl. Um,
Okay.
so I'll go skip right to the singy part. I'm leaning on a lamppost at the corner of the street in case a certain little lady comes by. Oh me, oh my, I hope that little lady comes by. I don't know if she'll get away, she doesn't always get away, but Anyway, I know that she'll try. Oh me, oh my, I hope that little lady comes by. There's no other girl I would wait for, but this one I'd break any date for. I don't have to ask what she's late for. She'd never leave me flat. She's not a girl like that. She's absolutely wonderful and marvelous and beautiful, and anyone can understand why. I'm leaning on a lamppost at the corner of the street, case a certain little lady comes by. There you go.
Fabulous, fabulous. Written by,
Um, oh gosh, that's an older one. Don't remember.
okay.
But leaning on, yeah, Me and
Well,
My Girl is the musical.
you owe us then two don't remembers. Li-
I have many of those in my life.
David, this has been spectacular. Everybody go out and buy David McMullin's books. And you have 1 week to write him and say, David, I want to ask you anything.
I'd be happy
I,
to. Yeah.
I'm volunteering you.
Okay.
And so I'm just going to say everybody goodbye, and we'll see you in a week or two with another fabulous interviewee. And David, thanks for being here or there, and
Thank
good
you
luck with
for
your
inviting me. Yes.
early chapter series that's coming out this fall. Yay!
Thank you. Yeah.
Take care. Bye bye, everybody. And you and I will keep in touch.